Hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk about warming up before you draw. And it's really important to warm up because I find that it makes your lines better and smoother, and it just makes your arm feel more comfortable. Like if you ever feel like when you get into that in the zone, like you have to be warmed up to get in those zones in the first place. You kind of might do it like while you're drawing, but it's a lot more slower if you don't focus on actually trying to loosen up and get those wide motions. And you can actually feel after a while when you start warming up like this movement of blood to your arm, and that helps you open up and just makes your strokes and a lot of the qualities that you when you're drawing a lot better. In the video I'm just sketching a bunch of random stuff, and technically that's not the best way to warm up because some people argue, or a lot of people argue, that you're supposed to do circles, lines, and then later on like cubes and stuff, things that are not objective. Yeah, and here you can see immediately that I'm drawing like people and faces and stuff. But as you can see, like later on in the video, especially, like I'm I do loosen up more, and you see me doing stuff that's like not just faces because I'm like, oh, I should probably focus on that. When I get into certain lines, you'll see that I repeat them over and over, not just because it might look better on the drawing, but because I'm just like, oh, I'm practicing my lines when I keep going over this like eyelash stroke or this circular stroke. And you can see I'm trying to make some little like gestures, though I'm not really referencing. I find that gestures are really good for warming up because when you have that time limit and you have to draw something, it forces you to use those large movements in order to draw in time. But in this one, I just kind of drew whatever. Additionally, if you're someone who's kind of like me and it's like, well, drawing lines and squares and circles seem kind of boring, you can say to yourself, well, what can I do to make myself draw more lines and squares? And for me, I do this cheating method where I like to draw eyes a lot and faces and hair, and so it's like, well, you need these long lines for hair, so I might just keep drawing long lines for hair, or like for eyes and stuff, I'll do the lines, and then even for like some gestures, I'll try to do the circular motion and try to see in kind of more in 3D for them. So yeah, I just find that it's a very good way to get started for things, and I'm trying to do it a lot more. I used to do it all the time, but now that I don't have as much time as I did when I was younger, I kind of skip it, and I find that my pieces suffer in the beginning when it would have been just better to just spend at least like 10 to 15. I think this was 25 minutes though, because I was just, I don't know, it was a slow day. I just find that warming up is something simple, and it doesn't take that much time. It could take like, I'd say for me it took around like 25 minutes, but maybe if you do focus on more of those large movements, it could take less than that. Additionally, maybe, I don't know if exercise actually helps because, they have like warming up for exercising, but or a lot of people who do digital stuff might not warm up correctly because a lot of them are forced to draw on a smaller canvas since we have these like tablets because they're cheaper when they're smaller, compared to those large motions that you can do on paper when you're using your elbow and you're not just using the fine movements of your fingers and such. So yeah, you might want to, like, a way to combat that is to zoom in more into your canvas, because like if you're zoomed out a lot, like one small line will equal a large line overall, but if you're zoomed in more, it forces you to use that full range of motion. So similarly, when you use a tablet pen, you can't really hold your pen very differently. It only works best when it's a very upward angle. Like you wouldn't be able to hold it like at the end or use the side of your pen or anything. Not with our current technology, but compared to doing it with the pencil. Another solution is just do the warm up in your sketchbook before you start drawing digitally too. As this video wraps up, I'm just going to say that expect to see more videos from me trying to explain some more art stuff and tutorials. I have a lot of plans for this channel that I want to implement soon. So yeah, see you next video.